Welcome back everyone, I'm Neonangel, and today we are finally going to be facing the Lich King. The power that he starts out with is the Scourge. He gets a 2/2 ghoul. In phase 2, he's going to get a Harvest of Souls, and he's going to get 6 of these trapped souls on the board. And the final phase costs him 0, it's Remorseless Winter, and he's going to deal increasing damage to you every single turn. The cards that he uses, we've seen Skeletal Knight before. The Valkyr Shadow Guard is new, destroys itself and one of your minions. Anti-Magic Shell, Obliterate, those are Death Knight cards, and Looming Presence, of course. And in phase 2, he's going to get Frostmourne and the Trapped Souls that I talked about. And that is where a lot of the fights that I'm going to show you, we're going to kill him before we even get to phase 2 on this. And here are all of the different cards that he will play at the beginning of every game. Depending on which class you are, there are different things that are going to happen, and we'll talk about each one of those. But some of these fights can be pretty challenging, and most of them I've done with Murloc decks and just tried to get him down before you even hit phase 2, and that's sort of the best way to do it. A couple of other ones though, I tried something different, so you'll see what I've done on each one. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. On Druid, he's going to purge the weak. He's going to destroy every minion in your hand and deck that costs 3 or less, so you don't have a lot of options there. I went with Jade Druid, a variant on that with this one. And actually, I only have 6 cards in here that are for the Jade Druid. It's best if you can start with at least 1 or 2 of those Druid cards, because the rest of the deck is just filled with garbage that gets destroyed immediately. So the more you start in your hand, the faster you'll be able to sort of build up your defense and have the cards at your ready. Now, one thing you want to make sure you do here is with the Auctioneer, you want to make sure that whenever your character emotes that he's almost out of cards, you need to go ahead and put 3 more Jade Golems or Jade Idols in the deck. Otherwise, you're going to start taking fatigue damage, so just be aware of that. And also, when you're filling up your board, if you have a full board already, you can go ahead and still be creating more Jade Golems, and it will increase their health and attack, even though you don't get anything on the board. But you can still be making them bigger and bigger. So you can see I've got some pretty huge ones here. And that is going to be the end of him with Jade Druid. And that one is pretty consistently good, actually. Now we're going to take a look at Hunter, and he is going to do 2 damage to you for each minion in your deck. So you're going to take a ton of damage right off the bat, and the best thing to do is just to rush him down as quickly as possible. It's pretty much what you're going to do with the Murloc decks as well. It's best if you can start with Alley Cat or something to get out right away, but it's awesome that I've got the Scavenging Hyena along with it, and I drew the second one there, so that is just like the the best that you could possibly hope for. And I went ahead and let him kill one of the hyenas there, because I was going to get him low enough to where it didn't matter anyway. So there you go on Hunter. With Mage, this one is a really challenging one because he sets your health to 1. So right away, you can't make any mistakes. You can't let him hit you at all. And like with the other Murloc decks, you really want to start with a Tide Collar if possible. I didn't start with it here. It's still possible to beat him without it, but it's best that you have that in your opening hand. That way it's going to increase pretty quickly and you'll just do a ton of damage to him. But he nearly always obliterates it too. See, I finally drew it there, though that's pretty late. But he's going to be dead anyway. If you just get a lot of Murlocs there at the very beginning, you can just overrun him like that. And that's pretty much how the other decks that use Murlocs are going to do. Now, with Paladin, every time that one of your minions dies, he gets it. So this one is also very challenging. I think Mage and Paladin could be the most challenging ones with this. We've got another Murloc deck here that's just going to try and overpower him before he even reaches phase 2. Now I did start with a Tide Collar on this one, and you'll see that he gets very large. I'm not going to let him kill one of the Murlocs on this one. Now with the taunts here, this can get pretty challenging. And I was able to get Wind Fury, so that was just awesome on that. And that will be the end of him. Alright, and with Priest here, you aren't really at a disadvantage at all because the only thing you can't do is you can't emote. So it's pretty humorous, but you don't have a disadvantage or drawback with this fight. And normally I'll try and create cheaper variants on decks so they're more accessible to everyone, but I really enjoyed playing Big Priest so much that I wanted to use quite a few legendaries in here and just have a lot of fun with this one. You really want to start with Barnes if possible, because you hope that you pull something big like Yasarj here, and he just starts pulling all of your other minions out of there, and then you just keep resurrecting him. I'm sure that you've probably seen large priests in action before, so don't expect anything different. And you can just have a lot of fun with this one, actually. Priest has one of the best ways to get rid of all of the trapped souls in phase 2. You just use the Shadow Word Horror and just wipe them all out. So that's going to be Priest. And next we've got Rogue, which he's going to destroy every spell that you have in here. So this is going to be another Murloc deck, but you're going to be able to thin it out a lot because of the spells that are in here, and they'll just get destroyed right away. Now again, I was able to start with the Tide Collar there, so that's always a plus. Like I said, you can get a lot of damage in just from the very get-go if you get him on the draw. And there we go. And with Shaman, he is going to set all of your minions' health and attack to 1. So it doesn't really matter that they're smaller though, because you've got other stuff like the Flame Tongue Totem that can buff them. And you're going to have Bloodlust and some other stuff that's going to make them larger anyway. And also they get the bonuses from the different Murlocs as well. And I have the Bloodlust here, but I've got a couple of taunts there that are being a pain, so it's going to have to wait a minute. And that would do it. Now onto Warlock, and he's going to deal 2 damage for every duplicate that you have in your deck. So we're going to use this to our advantage and put Molten Giants in there, so we'll actually be able to play them right near the start, depending on exactly how much damage we take, which is probably going to be about 14, 16 damage, somewhere in that area. 20 damage. So it certainly makes the Molten Giants much cheaper. And you can start gaining back life with the dead scale Murlocs there, the dead scale knights. And he absolutely hates them too. He will destroy them over Molten Giants. That is how much hate he has for you gaining life on this. And now we're on to the last one with a warrior. And he is going to gain a ton of armor. So he's got 100 armor. He starts off with 30 anyway, with his 30 health. So you're going to end up having to do 160 damage to him, which is a real pain. So it's actually going to take a little bit of time here. And in this one, we've got some Grim Patrons in here, which they're always a ton of fun. And you can really get his attention with those and keep him occupied for a while. Ultimately, you want to get out the Scaled Nightmare and just let it keep getting bigger and bigger. And it'll eventually be so huge that you can kill him with that minion alone in a turn or two. It's nice to hold on to the brawl there for phase 2. That way you can take out all but one of them at once of the trapped souls. And like I said before, this one does take a while to get through just because there's so much armor that you have to punch through. Also, if you have a couple of the armor smiths out there, you can see where it takes a while to go through when they've got to cycle through all the armor that you're gaining just from the damage being done. So anyway, that is going to be it for Warrior, and that is all of the classes against the Lich King. And I know typically I do 5 games with each one, but I didn't want the video to last half an hour either. So I tried to build the best decks that I could and just give you an idea of how to take him down with each class. Now I'm going to have links in the description so you can see detailed guides on each one of those. And I appreciate you watching. I hope that it was useful information to you. Sorry that it took so long to get it to you. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.